Happy lunchtime. I'm Ed Blakely, Chair of the Advisory Board for UC DRN. I'm just going to tell you what's happening this afternoon. This morning was jam-packed. Very fine presentations. There are three things I learned. One, we got to get there together. Two, there are a lot of resources. Three, we have to learn how to communicate those resources, both to ourselves and the people we're serving. Well, I'm Ed Blakely. I'm a fourth-generation Californian. My great-grandfather came here as an escaped slave, and he was instrumental in developing the Naval Orange. So I spent much of my youth at the Citrus Experiment Station in Riverside, and seeing an old black man telling some white guys how to grow oranges. So he had one thing to say to everyone: never be a victim. So in our family, we've produced no victims. I graduated in San Bernardino, St. Bernardines in 1956. I'm 85 years young, and I'm a Hall of Fame football player at UCR and a member of the National Football League Alumni Association. I coached at San Francisco 49ers last. So I could be close to where I was going to get a job, the University of California, Berkeley, where I was for 26 years and 4 years at Davis. So I'm an Aggie and a Bear. I've had the good fortune of working on the ground most of my career. I'm a rural economist who became an urban economist. I moved from Berkeley, I'm from Davis to Berkeley, and automatically I was an urban economist. But those of you who read old newspapers, you'll find my name in Marysville and Oroville and all those places, helping develop non-metropolitan economies. And when I got to Berkeley, they said, Oakland needs help. So I did that for 24 years. And I'm very happy to have been able to be in the University of California system that long and see what a really great system we have. I got my first degree at my first degree at Riverside, my second degree at Berkeley, my third degree at UCLA. And my dad said, we already paid for that education, you go there. And I think it's the best educational system in the world, having been in a lot of them. I've taught at Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, and many places around the world. So it's so good to see the mission is still the same. The mission is taking science to people to change the world. That's our mission at the University of California, and I'm proud that all of you are part of it, and many of you listening on the web are part of this. It's a new way to communicate, but let's not lose the old way. Let's come together in many ways. This morning we learned a lot about the things that we have to do, and I'm not going to go over that. Jeff did a wonderful job with that. And I think collaboration is the byword. The state, the university, and our communities. This afternoon, we're going to see how we do that. We're going to have some interactive panels and breakout sessions. The first one's on climate resilience. Michelle Barbados is going to do that in this room. It'll be 1:30. The second will be critical external partnerships in the room right over there. Joe Lightman will lead that. And we have a lot of very interesting speakers on that. Red Cross, Ernst & Young, and many other people are critical to our destiny in this field. And then we have some strategic partnerships with people around the world. And that will be in this room right over here. And then we'll have so you can all choose one session that you want to go to, and then later on, we're going to have a second set of breakout sessions, on data science. That'll give you some opportunity to hear more than one person. Let's see, where's my next one? Then the next one will be resilience, seismic resilience. We've heard a lot about that in my last presentation, and then coastal resilience. So we got a lot on this afternoon, so you get a chance to go to 2 sessions this afternoon. So eat heartily, because you can only grab an apple or something in between sessions. We're going to keep this train on time. I've just come from Europe where trains actually run on time. So we're going to keep this train on time. There is nothing more important right now. That's been said over and over again. This state that we love is in our hands. And this university that we love has the resources to pull those hands together. So let's pull our hands together and make this work this afternoon. Please be feisty, as I know you are. I used to tell my students at Berkeley, at least give me 10 minutes to give my lecture before you start after me. So these sessions are expected to be good sessions with a lot of time for you to have some interaction with the people presenting. So finish your lunch. We're going to get started pretty soon. Thank you. We have some additional intellectual entertainment for you. Over lunch, we have a couple of videos that are going to be shown. A couple of our people could not be with us. Janet Napolitano is not going to be here, and Tristan Maldonado has a video for us. So Joel put those on in a couple of moments.
So we have 2 videos to entertain you with as you finish lunch. The first is from our platinum sponsor, Ernst & Young. And then we have one from our team about a dream that we have, and you'll see what I mean by that.
What if your predictive models could make the world a better place? Held annually, the EY Open Science Data Challenge produces new intellectual property that drives more intelligent, data-informed decisions to mitigate global sustainability issues. EY makes the winning models available to environmentalists, governments, and scientists around the world. In 2023, a record-breaking year, over 13,000 university students and early career professionals signed up to help solve world hunger by analyzing rice harvests. To build models, they used satellite data from Microsoft's planetary computer, statistical analysis, and artificial intelligence. This year, EY hosted the finalists and winners in New York City. They met peers and leaders from EY, Microsoft, and Cornell University.
This event is different than any other event. Really looking to have a world impact, to build a better world.
We're able to bring together something that our clients really need and look to us to do, something that delivers on our purpose and something that provides really meaningful work to our people.
I know that some people don't have food on their tables. So yeah, this challenge for me, it's a really special one.
That's a great sense of accomplishment. I really feel that I'm making an impact.
I have to say this year, once again, has been hugely inspirational.
What's amazing is the people that come here, these finalists, they are the best and the brightest ideas, right? Their scores bubble to the top.
A great opportunity and a great platform and a forum to discuss the issues that we often talk about, but we don't do something about.
There was that particular moment when I moved to the top place on the ranking board after 2 weeks of hard work, And actually, I had tears in my eyes.
It's quite interesting to see that, all of us were deeply attached to this problem.
Coming from a developing country, we understand the state of hunger from a first-person view. Being able to work towards food security definitely makes us feel like Superman.
Besides being grateful to EY, I'm also extremely grateful to my teammates.
And over the course of these 2 months, we've all bonded to such a degree that I can clearly say that in college, they've become my closest friends.
I can't wait for EY to do more of those challenges.
Because there are people, like ordinary people, who might have ideas or have passions, but if they don't have access to the data or the methodologies, those ideas and those passions might die.
97% of data scientists are using their expertise to generate more clicks. Let's do more good for the world instead of generating more clicks.
We are pleased to announce the 2024 topic, Coastal Resilience and Climate Change. Don't just predict the future, build a better, more sustainable one. To learn more, go to challenge.ey.com.
Thank you to EY for that, and we don't hold it against you that you worked with Cornell, because for next year, we have a budding partnership with EY that will involve the UC system to help develop the next data science challenge, which is all about coastal resilience. So we'll hear more about that in the 1:30 session on critical partnerships and the 2:30 session on coastal resilience. So thank you to EY for the support and the engagement. We have one more video, and I'll get that one set up.
Hello, everyone. My name is David Oglesby, and I'm a professor of geophysics at the University of California, Riverside. And as you've been hearing all morning, the UC Disaster Resilience Network is dedicated to taking the incredible expertise in the scientific, engineering, and societal factors of disasters and bringing this expertise to the people who need it. And a big portion of this effort is educational, bringing this expertise to our students in the UC system and beyond. Now, summing up our efforts, in the words of Leila Carvalho at UC Santa Barbara, one of our participating faculty in this effort, one of the prime goals of our educational offerings is to give the students serious hope. Let's break that down a little bit. Serious, because our students need to understand the threats that our society faces. There are severe threats, and they need to be addressed. They need to be taken seriously. But equally important is hope. Our students need to understand that these threats can be prepared for, they can be responded to, they can be mitigated, and they can be recovered from. Students should come out of our educational offerings empowered and excited to take action, not despondent. So this is something that we always keep in mind when we're planning our classes. And I will say right off the bat that UC Online is key to our efforts here, because our educational offerings are by construction intercampus. They are interdisciplinary, so online education is the key. We want students from all across the UC to take these courses. We want professors from all across the UC to offer them. So having them available online is really, really important. And UC Online has been really huge in these efforts. The first of our educational efforts is a cross-campus interdisciplinary course called Addressing California's Concurrent and Cascading Crises. It is a fully online course, but synchronous, meaning that the course meetings are 2 lectures a week and a discussion where the students gather together simultaneously with the professor, and the material is given live. And this course development was funded by UC Online, which was crucial to getting the class off the ground. So huge thanks again to Ellen Osmondson and everyone else at UC Online who supported this work. The course was offered through UC Berkeley in the winter of 2023 with David Zilberman there as primary instructor. But as I'll mention again, there was a large cast of characters from multiple UC campuses also instructing along with David. And we also had 80 students from multiple UC campuses in this course. And the course covered the science and societal aspects of hazardous phenomena, including food security, wildfires, floods, earthquakes, pandemics, and climate change. It also covered a number of cross-cutting ideas throughout, such as understanding and calculating risk, the politics and policy of risk, urban development and risk, and cybersecurity. There was a different topic, so roughly every week, and a different lead instructor every week, including this gallery of professors right here. I won't take the time to read all of them, but everyone here was really crucial to the success of this course. So in a typical week, the week's instructor would give the first lecture and then bring in an outside expert guest for the second one. So for the first lecture, we'd cover kind of the basics of the concepts. And then in the second lecture, somebody who's, say, a practitioner or a professional from the private or public sector would come in to explain how this particular risk is handled in the real world. So for example, in my week on earthquakes, I brought in a friend of mine who consults for governments and utilities on seismic risk for nuclear power plants. And the centerpiece of the course was a group assignment to determine the multi-hazard risk at a given location, decided by the student. Decided by the students in the group, rather, and then the students would report on what is currently being done to manage and mitigate that risk and make suggestions for the future. And there are a number of learning outcomes, which I don't have time to read to you, but I'll show them here. But suffice it to say that the basic idea is that they should be able to integrate the science and the policy concept of the course in such a way that they come out of it with the kinds of ideas and skills to really serve as forces for good, basically, to really help to mitigate some of the risks that we talk about in the course. And we are in the process of turning our lectures into a textbook for future versions of the course, as well as similar courses at other universities throughout the world. And we think the course went well, and we're looking forward to refining it and offering it again this upcoming winter. So that's the beginning of our planned courses. So now we'll turn things over to some colleagues of mine who can talk a bit about their plans for additional courses that will expand UC DRN's educational offerings. And just to plant a seed, we see all of these courses as contributing to an eventual UC-wide School of Disaster Resilience. So first, let's hear from our colleague Erin Noste from UC San Diego.
Hi, I'm Erin Noste, an associate professor in the Department of Emergency Medicine at UC San Diego. I am the Emergency Medical Services and Disaster Medicine Fellowship Director. My academic work focuses on developing local, national, international capacity for emergency care and disaster medicine preparedness and response. Last year, I participated in UC Online's course, EEP 007, by hosting a session on the medical response standards in disaster management using lessons identified from the Haiti earthquake in 2010 and the recent challenges in the response to the Turkey and Syria earthquake in 2023. Building from the successes of EEP 007, UC DRN has proposed a new course titled Health Vulnerability, Climate Change, and Extreme Weather Disasters. The proposed course will have a specific focus on the health impacts from climate change, extreme weather events, and disasters at the individual, local, regional, national, and international level, and how to manage and reduce this risk. This course, with support from UC DRN, will pull from expertise from the University of California in climate change science at institutions like Scripps Institute of Oceanography, as well as the UC Health System. Lecturers from UC campuses and health systems will supplement the core faculty. Additionally, the course will utilize guest lecturers from the larger international community, from government and international organizations to supplement the topics with subject matter expertise and on-the-ground experience. I look forward to the continued discussions and work with colleagues throughout the UC network on disaster preparedness, resiliency, and response. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Erin. I should point out that Erin is attending this meeting in person, so she is available if you'd like to talk with her about her proposed course or any other aspects of UC DRN's educational plans. Now, let's hear from Andrew Reddie at UC Berkeley, who's planning a course on a different sort of disaster.
I'm Andrew Reddie, an associate research professor of public policy at the University of California's Goldman School, and I had the privilege of leading a session on cybersecurity and disaster resilience during the EEP 007 course last semester in the spring. Building off of that course, I think one of the things that became clear was that there's a great deal of appetite on the part of undergraduates across the University of California to think hard about risk methods and also about some of the linkages that we have between emerging technology sets, national security risk, and human security. And indeed, one of the efforts that we've started since that course wrapped up is thinking about some of the follow-on that might be done to kind of, build on that first course. And so one of the courses that we proposed looks at risk methods and emerging technologies and is interested in exploring some of the ways in which cybersecurity risks are impacting critical infrastructure, how new AI technologies introduce novel types of risks that need to be managed and addressed by policymakers at the local level, state level, national level, and indeed at the international level as well. And one of the other things that we'll be trying to do in the course is really drill down and give students a toolkit that focuses on kind of how to think about risk analysis, right? Characterizing threat and the probabilities associated with it, characterizing vulnerabilities and the probabilities associated with it, and also how to think about modeling consequences, which is actually quite a difficult thing to do. So we're looking to build this course with colleagues across the University of California. Currently have UC Santa Barbara, UCLA, and UC San Diego involved. And of course, welcome any and all of you to be involved as well. And I think that ultimately courses like this one are kind of the best example of kind of where the kind of the very first courses that we built kind of might lead down the road as we continue to move forward. So looking forward to spending the day with you all and to engaging with you on the course and more broadly on disaster resilience. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And I'll say, lastly, as far as course plans, I'm also planning a few new courses that I'll mention briefly. First, I'm working on a combined graduate and undergraduate course that will bring students and faculty from multiple UCs together to discuss current research in disaster resilience. Basically, it's Disaster Journal Club, but across multiple campuses where the multiple instructors and students from different campuses can come together to discuss current research. And we're also planning a directed research and readings course that will allow students to work with researchers across the UC system, no matter their home campus. And as I mentioned before, we hope that all of these courses will eventually help us work toward a system-wide school of disaster resilience, complementary to our individual campus efforts. To give one vision of how such a school might develop, I'll turn things over to Chris Chase-Dunn over at my home campus of UC Riverside.
Hello, I'm Christopher Chase-Dunn. I'm a distinguished professor of sociology and of the graduate division at the University of California, Riverside. I'd like to, you already heard about how faculty at the in the UC system are teaching a system-wide course on compound disasters and developing a textbook, and there are plans in the works for new system-wide courses. What I'd like to do is discuss an idea we've been knocking around about the formation of a system-wide school of disaster resilience that would bring the power of the 10 campuses together to teach courses and bestow degrees in disaster science and transition policy and planning for the building of a sustainable, resilient, and just world society. We'd like to target our efforts on undergraduate and graduate students at the University of California, professional and emergency personnel, resilience planners from municipal, county, and state agencies, representatives from private firms, community volunteers, and labor organizers. I'd also like to propose that the new UC system-wide school should combine a focus on disaster science and resilience planning and training and certification in emergency management. Emergency management is a growing source of employment that will help our undergraduate and graduate students get jobs in the burgeoning disaster industry. The disaster industry is rapidly expanding because of the growing awareness that multiple emergent global crises are converging in a perfect storm of human-caused climate change and catastrophes. The new school would develop the links between preparedness, mitigation, and transitional planning and implementation based on disaster research and best practices in California and abroad. Most of the UC campuses do not currently have training and certification programs in emergency management. The exceptions are University of California, Irvine, and UCLA, both of whom have emergency management certification programs that are excellent. What I would propose is that the new school should pick up on that and figure out the connections between professional emergency management and disaster resilience and design a program based on that combination. And the new system-wide school could be called the University of California School of Disaster Resilience and Emergency Management Education, the DREAM School. The University of California is the best public university system in the world. Helping to lead the way toward a sustainable and resilient and just world society affords a new opportunity to enhance that legacy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. So you can see that there's a lot going on in the educational aspects of UC DRN. We welcome your input and participation. If you have an idea for how to improve these existing and planned courses, please let us know. If you have your own ideas for new courses that you could teach, please let us know. And of course, any ideas and feedback, particularly on establishing a statewide program that is complementary with individual campus efforts, would be greatly appreciated. So, thank you so much for your time and your attention, and we hope to work with you in the future on these exciting educational efforts.